We are in political law, no? And for those who are reviewing for the bar, and I know majority are, meron bang hindi nagre-review for the bar dito? Parang lahat naman nagre-review, no? So, medyo pagod na kayo. But remember, rest if you must, but don't you ever quit. Kasi the moment nag-quit kayo, that's it. Diba? Wala na. Tapos ng boxing pagka nag-quit kayo. Ha? Why? Winners are not people who never fail, but people who never quit. So quitters never win, and winners will never quit. Ha? Kasi ang goal nating pare-pareho ay makatabi nyo sa picture itong si Madam. Well, parang tingin ko nag-retire na siya, ano baka, kasi hindi na siya nakikita ng iba. But pagkatabi nyo na siya, that means that's it, no? You're signing the role of attorney. Okay? At you can also view or watch a portion of this lecture and some other lectures in that YouTube channel. Medyo mag-subscribe na rin kayo kasi kukonti pa lang subscribers natin, 52,500 na kanina. Baka gusto yung dagdagan, ano? Libre naman yan. And if you want to receive materials for free, actually naka-upload na dyan yung karamihan ng materials, and I'll be uploading some free materials pa before the bar, no? In different bar subjects. You can join that Facebook group. Just answer the few questions that are being asked. Kasi pag ayaw natin ng mga trolls dyan. Okay, you can also join this religion kasi mas madaling yumaman ang preacher kaysa lawyer. So baka gusto ko rin yumaman. Joke lang. But don't worry, hindi ako mangongolekta ngayong ng love offering muna, ano. Okay, you can also read this book. Majority of the lectures are taken from that book. Consti 1, Consti 2, well, Public International Law is included in political law, di ba? At saka sa labor law, meron din tayo. That's 2023, the latest edition on the subject matter. And this one is a 2024 edition, no? But that's for college. Pero simplified dyan. Then, soon, ito, makikita na ninyo yung comprehensive discussion on the CPRA at saka yung Code of Judicial Conduct, plus hindi nakalagay dito, no, pero it's in the book, the Notarial Practice Rule of 2004, and I was told by Rex Bookstore na by the end of next month ilalabas na yan, available na in the market. Okay, so ito yung schedule ng bar exam, and you're very lucky, I suppose, that you only have 3 days for your bar exam, unlike before na inaabot ng 4 na Sundays, ano? But right now, 3 days na lamang. But just the same, do not take that for granted na hindi iisipin na napakadali. Sabi ni Justice Lopez, sakto lang, ano. Ayan, so ito yung pattern na ibinigay niya during the PALS Convention. Ito yung Philippine Association of Law Schools, kailan ba ito? February yata, in Cagayan de Oro. So yan, sabi niya, conclusion, ano? If the question is answerable by yes or no, you say yes or no. Do not be afraid. You say yes or no. And then support your answer with law and jurisprudence. That will be your legal basis, diba? Law and jurisprudence na naman, wala naman yung panggagalingan ng legal basis nyo. And then you argue, why are you saying na itong batas na ito ay relevant doon sa conclusion mo based on the facts. Now, at the end of the day, sabi ni Justice Lopez, there is no clear path to the answer. Perhaps no clear answer to begin with. But may your answer and your ways always be towards truth and justice and equity. Diba? Kasi at the end of the day, ang gusto natin, justice will be served. Hindi yung matalo o manalo ka bilang lawyer, diba? I don't care losing if by losing, I would say that justice is done. Kaysa naman sa nanalo ka, pero yung panalo mo ay unjust, alam mong hindi tama. Diba? Yan nakakalimutan ng iba nating mga kasamahan sa legal profession. It seems to them that winning is everything. Take note, everything is fleeting. Lahat yan lilipas. Diba? So, stick to the truth. Kaya lalo sa legal ethics, if you think the lawyer is doing something wrong, disbar him. Diba? In your answer, do not justify unless there is a valid justification. But if not, discipline the lawyer. Ganun lang kasimple yun. Diba? Kaya sa mga estudyante ko sa legal ethics, in case of doubt, discipline the lawyer. Do not make an excuse. Okay? So we are talking about the Constitution. It's a written instrument which the fundamental powers of the government are established. Di ba? Makita natin, the Constitution is the fundamental law of the land. Yan ang lagi sinasabi ng Korte Suprema eh. Di ba? Why? It's the foundation. Parang sa bahay, magtatayo ka ng bahay, you need a strong foundation. Ano sabi sa Psalms chapter 127? If the foundations are shaken, what can the righteous do? So if you are righteous, do not let your foundations be shaken. Ano? Ayan. Now, bakit mahalaga ang saligang batas? Because it establishes, limits, and defines the different powers of the different branches of the government. Diba? For what purpose? For the purpose of the betterment of the people. Para sa bayan, ika nga. Now, how do we interpret constitutional provisions? Well, a doubtful provision shall be examined in the light of the history of the times. Diba? Titingnan natin bakit yung Constitution na ito napakatindi ng protection sa human rights. Because the framers of the 1987 Constitution were from an era where human rights violations were rampant. And there are those who would like to revise history saying that there were no human rights violations in the past. Think again. Even Congress enacted a law that would compensate through human rights victims. So why would Congress enact a law setting aside funds, providing budget for something that never happened? If you really think that there was no human rights violation during the previous administrations prior to the 1987 Constitution. Kaya grabe ang protection sa human rights ng 1987 Constitution because of the conditions and circumstances under which the Constitution was framed in 1986 at natapos noong 1987. Di ba? Now, between self-executing and non-self-executing provisions, in case of doubt, you interpret that in favor of self-executing provisions. The Constitution is supreme over any law. That's why in case of conflict between the law, the ordinance, or the Constitution prevails because it is supreme. Okay, so if we talk about the Constitution, we're talking about the state. What is a state? The definition is found in Article 1 of the 1933 Montevideo Convention. That there are people, diba, occupying a permanent portion of territory independent of external control, possessing an organized government, to which great majority of inhabitants render habitual obedience. And those were elements were even affirmed by the Supreme Court in that case of province of North Cotabato versus government of the Philippines. The issue here was the constitutionality of the MOA, hindi po yung Mall of Asia, kundi yung Memorandum of Agreement between the Philippine government and the Bangsamoro juridical entity. So in that case, the Supreme Court defined a state, which is containing a population, a defined territory, a government, and capacity to enter into relations with other states. When the Bangsamoro juridical entity under the MOA was allowed to transact with a foreign government, the court said it was an act of sovereignty. Therefore, you are creating a state. So that was unconstitutional because we only have one state, and that's the Philippine state. Diba? And then, you create a juridical entity with the capacity to transact with other nations. That's an aspect of sovereignty, and you cannot allow that under the Constitution. Okay? Then we have the national territory defined under Article 1, that the national territory comprises the Philippine archipelago with all the islands and waters embraced therein, and all other territories over which the Philippines has sovereignty or jurisdiction, consisting of its terrestrial, fluvial, aerial domain, including the territorial sea, the seabed, the subsoil, the insular shelves, and other submarine areas, the waters around, between, and connecting the islands of the archipelago, regardless of their breadth and dimension, form part of the internal waters of the Philippines. Okay? So what do we learn out of that? That the Philippine territory is an archipelago. Now, archipelago refers to the sea. Archon meaning chief. Pelagos meaning sea. So, chief sea. Yan ang original Greek niya. Okay? So archipelago refers to the sea with many islands. So it's quite difficult to determine your territorial boundaries if you're surrounded by water. Diba? That's why the United Nations, addressing the issue, created the United Nations Convention on the Laws of the Sea. And the Philippine delegation on the Third UNCLOS Convention introduced the concept of archipelago doctrine or archipelagic doctrine. Okay, that all the islands of the archipelagic state are considered one or single unit for purposes of determining its territorial waters and other parameters. Okay, so nandyan yung mamang yan sa inyong screen, kaya siya yung head ng Philippine delegation that introduced the archipelago doctrine in the 1982 convention. Okay, now that is based on the straight baseline method. That you draw a baseline on the outermost islands, particularly on the low water mark. Okay? So if you're on the outermost island, you determine the low water mark. What is that? That's the point where the sea meets the sand during low tide. If you are on the outermost island, so meron tayong mga 105 or 108 base points na pinag-connect to form a single unit. So from your baseline, you draw 12 nautical miles. That is your territorial sea. Okay? In the territorial sea or territorial water, other vessels of other states, whether military or commercial, enjoy the right of innocent passage. What's the right of innocent passage? That is the right to pass through continuously and expeditiously, except in cases of force majeure. Makikidaan lang. But that is on the territorial sea. Okay? Submarines and underwater craft are required to surface and show their flag. Problem is, wala tayong radar para ma-determine o ma-check natin meron na bang mga submarines ang China dyan. Kasi baka meron na, hindi pa natin alam. Diba? So, buti lang pinaharam yata tayo ng Japan at ng Korea. Now, in the internal water, you cannot exercise the right of innocent passage. Kaya yung mga Chinese vessels na natatagpuan dun sa may Sibutu Strait sa Mindanao, they cannot say that they're exercising the right of innocent passage because these are internal waters. Okay? But in our airspace, we do not allow the right of innocent passage. That's the International Convention on Civil Aviation, December 7, 1944. No? Why? Kasi pag pinayagan mo ang right of innocent passage sa iyong airspace, and airplanes will just pass through saying that they're enjoying the right of innocent passage, and they drop bombs, kawawa ka dyan. Diba? Unlike in your territorial sea, na medyo limited yung damage. That was experienced by Korean Airlines Flight 007. No? Dumaan siya dun sa disputed territory between USSR at that time and Japan. Doon sa may Moneron Island, near Sea of Japan. Ang problema, kontrolado ito ng Soviet Union, yung USSR. And then, pinabagsak yung aeroplano. Galit na galit ang buong mundo, particularly the United States. Kasi, a sitting US congressman, itong si Lawrence MacDonald, was among those who were killed. Kaya pala sumikat si Jollibee, ano? Okay. Now, ang depensa ng USSR is that they do not allow the right of innocent passage in their airspace. That's the reason why you have to be alarmed. Kapag ka ang China inimpose na ang kanyang will at kinontrol ang buong South China Sea, kasama na ang portion na tinatawag nating West Philippine Sea, pagka may dadaan dyan na aeroplano, yan ay magpapaalam na sa China, at so problema tayo ng todo-todo kasi magpapaalam ka na sa China pag dadaan ka. That's why we do not allow that. Bakit? Naku, hindi ko maintindihan bakit may mga Pilipino pa rin naniniwala na tama ang China, ano? Na makipagtulungan daw tayo sa China. Ang problema, pag nakipagtulungan ka sa China, kukunin lahat ng nasa sayo. It's like allowing a thief to enter your home. Paano ka may pagtulungan sa magnanakaw? Di ba? Ayan, what about the contiguous zone? Contiguous zone is 12 nautical miles from the territorial sea. Okay? Sa ibang libro, makikita ninyo, even in the UNCLOS Convention, 24 nautical miles from the baseline. Pero hindi masyadong accurate yan kasi dyan sa contiguous zone, we do not own it anymore. Ang atin lang talaga yung territorial waters. But in the contiguous zone, we can exercise limited jurisdiction to prevent infringement of our customs, fiscals, immigration, or sanitary laws. Diba? Pwedeng pigilan yung mga smugglers dyan, yung mga nangingisda dyan. Then, you have the 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone. So basically, that's not part of our territory. Kasi napakalayo na yan. Okay? Now, iba pa yung 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone doon sa continental shelf. 350 nautical miles yun. These are not part of our territory. Yet, we enjoy sovereign rights. Kaya nga, may video tayo dun sa YouTube. Ano mang kaibahan ng sovereignty sa sovereign rights? Yung sovereignty, iyo talaga yung kontrolado mo. Yung sovereign rights, hindi na sa'yo kasi pwedeng daanan ng ibang barko, pero hindi sila pwedeng mag-explore dyan, hindi sila pwedeng magtayo ng mga structures like what China is doing in the West Philippine Sea, kasi nasa loob na exclusive economic zone natin eh. Diba? We enjoy exclusivity. Ganun lang kasimple. Under UNCLOS, ang bawat state, no, bawat archipelagic state, katulad ng Pilipinas, katulad ng China, ay mayroong exclusive economic zone 200 nautical miles. Iyo yan. Hindi part ng teritoryo. Pero you have exclusivity to harvest all the resources. Bakit ba gustong-gusto ng China yan? Kasi mayaman sa resources yung West Philippine Sea. Diba? So, hindi siya kontento dun sa portion niya lang. Now, kapag ka mayroong overlapping yung mga exclusive economic zone, kasi masyadong malawak yan, states are required to enter into treaties for joint exploration. So, nung panahon ni Gloria Arroyo, ang China, Pilipinas at ang Vietnam sinubukan na magkaroon ng joint exploration. That was termed as Joint Marine Seismic Undertaking or JMSU. Now, question ito ng bayan muna. Okay? And the Supreme Court on January 10, 2023 declared that the Joint Marine Seismic Undertaking is unconstitutional. It violates our exclusive rights in the exclusive economic zone because the exclusive economic zone of China and the Philippines and Vietnam do not overlap. So under UNCLOS, exclusive natin na ma-exploit at explore ang mga resources. So bakit natin kailangan ng joint undertaking? There's no basis for that, sabi ng Korte Suprema. Di ba? So, nag-file pa sila ng motion for reconsideration and the Supreme Court denied with finality the motion for reconsideration by the Philippine government on July 5, 2023. Because obviously, we exclusively own the exclusive economic zone because there's no other country in the South China Sea which has an exclusive economic zone that overlaps with the Philippine exclusive economic zone. So, ang ginagawa ng China is barbarism. China is not following international law. At binabaliktad pa tayo. Di ba? China is violating the UNCLOS insofar as the exclusive economic zone is concerned. Do not take my word for that. You can read the 500 pages decision of the Permanent Court of Arbitration. Now, if we have time, we can delve into that. Ano? So tayo, compliant tayo sa UNCLOS, and we even crafted our baseline. We drew our baselines based on the Treaty of Paris, the Treaty of Washington, and the treaty with Great Britain. That's between the United States and Spain. Okay? That was the basis of our baseline in 1961. Republic Act 3046. And then we amended it in 1968 para mai-align yung other base points. Now, under the Third UNCLOS Convention, we were required to submit the final baselines. So, Congress amended Republic Acts 3046 and 5446 by Republic Act 9522. Okay? redrawing our baselines. At yung Kalayaan, at saka yung Baho de Masinloc or Scarborough Shoal, were just considered regime of islands. So ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng regime of islands under Article 121 of the UNCLOS Convention? Tingnan nyo yung number 3, ano? These are rocks that cannot sustain human habitation or economic life of their own. Okay? So, ang problema natin, yung Kalayaan, may mga nakatira dyan eh. Okay? May nakatira. That's a municipality with one barangay, Barangay Pag-asa. So, hindi siya qualified sana as regime of islands. Okay? So, on that basis and some other points, there were lawyers, former Dean ng UP College of Law, Merlin Magallanes, na question before the Supreme Court the legality of the new baselines law, Republic Act 9522. But according to the Supreme Court, in order to comply with the UNCLOS, kasi compliant tayo, gusto natin mag-comply, ano? We cannot draw a baseline that does not follow our archipelagic shape. Because if you look at the Philippine archipelago from Wyoming or Mabulis down to Saluag, you can imagine a rectangular shape. Okay? I'm sorry, a triangular shape. Triangular, tatsulok. Okay? Pag sinunod natin yung Treaty of Paris, rectangular shape eh. And according to the Supreme Court, based on the declaration of Miriam Santiago, that would violate an international law. What is that international law? That is the UNCLOS. Ayaw pa kasing banggitin ko ano yan. Nasabi, the drawing of the baseline shall not depart to any appreciable extent from the general configuration of the archipelago. So sa loob ng ating baseline, dapat magkakalapit yung mga islands. So yung mga malalayong islands, hindi natin pwedeng i-overextend yung ating baseline para sila ay ma-include doon sa ating baseline. Because that would not be compliant with it's not compliance with the UNCLOS. Okay? So ganun din yung Scarborough Shoal, ha? At saka yung Kalayaan Islands, no? I have other lectures kasi maiksing oras natin. I have other lectures discussing all of this in details. Ano? So if you look at that map on your screens, ang Scarborough Shoal is just 220 kilometers. 137 miles. So ibig sabihin, pasok na pasok siya doon sa 200 nautical miles natin. And then from China, the nearest island of China to Scarborough Shoal is 1,200 nautical miles. Diyos kong mahabagin. Di ba? Eh, porke hindi ba nasa loob ng ating baseline, kanila na? That's wrong. Now, historically speaking, atin na yan, 1734 pa, ha? Nung itong si Padre Murillo Velarde drew a map. Okay? Nakita niyo sa screen niyo. That's just a portion of the map. Which in 1774, that was considered the official map of the Philippines under Spain. So, nandyan yung Baho de Masinloc or Shoal. Okay? So, tingnan niyo yung mga may drawing. Ano? Okay? Where is that map right now? That map is being sold at auction sa London. Kasi ninakaw yan ng mga Briton sa Palacio del Gobernador nang sinakop nila ang Maynila noong 1762 up to 1764. Yung naka-display doon sa National Museum ngayon, that's the entire map, no? Yung naka-display ngayon na mapa, ginawa rin yan sa copper plates, ay binili ni Mel Velasco Velarde for 12 million. That's just a reproduction, hindi yan yung original. Okay? So magmula pa noong 1734, historically speaking, atin na yan, part na yan ng mapa natin. And even the subsequent maps of the Philippines kasama Scarborough Shoal at ang Spratlys. Now, kailan lang nag-claim ang China? China started claiming these territories under the Nine Dash Line only in 1947. But remember that China claiming at that time was Republic of China, meaning Taiwan. Kaya lang nung ma-dislodge from the UN ng Taiwan na palitan siya ng People's Republic of China, maintain ng People's Republic of China yung claim niya. And even claiming that Taiwan is part of China. Naku, may nangaaway sa akin doon sa YouTube dahil mali daw ang tinuturo ko na ang Taiwan ay hindi part ng China, siguro Chinese yun. Kasi alam nyo, there was only one point in the history of Taiwan or Formosa na siya ay naging part ng China, 1885, during the Qing Dynasty. But after that, it was the Japanese who occupied Taiwan. Okay? So kaya lang, malapit talaga ang Taiwan sa China. Ngayon, nung matalo itong si Chiang Kai-shek, ng mga tropa ni Mao Zedong, yung communist, natalo itong nationalist, Chiang Kai-shek went to Formosa and established the Republic of China. So yan na ngayon yung Taiwan, with the hope of going back to the mainland and reclaiming it against the communist. Hindi na siya nagtagumpay. Nakamatayan na ito ni Chiang Kai-shek. So hanggang ngayon, hindi nagiging part ng China ang Taiwan. Alam nyo, mahirap kasi kapag kayong mga napapanood lang ang pinaniniwalaan. So kaya, you read. Nasa libro yan. Okay? At huwag papaniwalaan, naku, grabe ko kasi ang grabe ang fake news ng China. Tulad niyang 9-dash line na yan, no? Claiming almost the entire South China Sea. Bakit ba gusto niya yan? Napaka-busy shipping route yan So magiging powerful siya. At yung resources sa area na yan ay grabe ho. Okay? Whereas, yung Brunei, yung Indonesia, yung Malaysia, meron naman tayong overlapping exclusive economic zone, pero hindi naman tayo nag-aaway. Di ba? At ito pa ngayon ang gusto ng China. Okay? Yung kanyang bagong 10-dash line. Okay? Na ino-objectan ng napakaraming bansa malapit sa South China Sea or sa West Philippine Sea sa atin. Now, ano bang storya dito? Both China and the Philippines signed the UNCLOS in 1982. Of course, this has to be ratified. The Philippines ratified the UNCLOS in 1984. China ratified the UNCLOS in 1996. Now, under international law, you have the so-called Pacta Sunt Servanda. Diba? Promises must be kept. Huwag kang paasa. Kasi pag paasa kami, nagkakasakit, di ba? Yung UTI. Umasa tapos inindyan. Okay? Umibig tapos iniwan. Ngayon, if there are disagreements, so in other words, China and the Philippines both ratified the UNCLOS, both countries are bound by the terms and conditions of UNCLOS, including the exclusive economic zone. Ganon kasimple yun. Di mo kailangan ng rocket scientist para maintindihan na ang China ay lumalabag sa UNCLOS. Di ba? So there is a court created. That's the International Tribunal on the Laws of the Sea. It has 21 judges at ang headquarters ay sa Hamburg, Germany. Headed by a president, ang pangalan ay Thomas Heydar from Iceland. And then in 2012, China wanted to occupy the Scarborough Shoal. So nagkaroon ng standoff. Dahil nga kinondisyon ng ating bansa at kinondisyon ng ating sundalo na hindi natin kayang labanan ang China, at suicide daw yan, para pa kay saan at meron kang armed forces kung hindi ka naman kayang depensahan, di ba? So sayang yung binabayad natin pagka ganyan. Trabaho nila yan So ang ginawa natin, we approach it on a friendlier terms. We filed a case before the ITLOS because both China and the Philippines are members of UNCLOS. So ganun kasimple. But we do not want litigation. We wanted another friendlier approach to the problem, arbitration. And arbitration is allowed under the UNCLOS, particularly Annex 7. Okay? So kaya lang, yung demanda natin hindi pinansin ng China. So kaya, nag-submit tayo ng ating position paper at yung presidente ng ITLOS at the time, Sun Jianai, from Japan. Isa pa yan sa mga objections ng China dahil Japanese daw yung presidente. Meron din naman silang away with Japan, hindi ba? Lahat naman yata ng kapitbahay niya pag hindi niya kakampi, inaaway niya Diba? Pero lang yung Sri Lanka. Ayan. O yung Tibet, sinakop niya na. Ano pa? Yung mga Uyghur doon sa Xinjiang province, mga Muslims yun, minority. At saka yung malapit doon sa Inner Mongolia, sa northern territory niya. Yan. So ang ginawa nitong si Sun Jianai, nag-appoint ng 5 arbitrators coming from the Permanent Court of Arbitration. Okay, headed by Thomas Mensa. Now, ano ba itong Permanent Court of Arbitration that was established in 1899 pa? Na pagka gusto ng mga bansa o anumang organisasyon ng arbitrator, diyan kinukuha sa Permanent Court of Arbitration. So yan ay neutral at tribunal na pwede natin pagtiwalaan. Ang problema, China did not recognize that issue, did not recognize the jurisdiction of the Permanent Court of Arbitration. That's why it prompted the Permanent Court of Arbitration to conduct a hearing requiring the Philippines to submit proof that the PCA has jurisdiction. And on October 29, 2015, it was ruled that the PCA has jurisdiction. O di talo ang China, may jurisdiction tayo eh. Di ba? May jurisdiction yung PCA. At ang sabi ng iba, hindi bound ang China kasi hindi siya nag-participate. No, the non-participation of China is immaterial. Bakit? Ni-notify siya eh. Ayaw niya mag-participate, ibig sabihin hindi natutuloy. It's not voluntary arbitration, it's compulsory arbitration. Okay? And then later on, nagkaroon ng desisyon, 501 pages. July 12, 2016. Okay? Sa dami niyan, abutin tayo ng siyam-siyam, isang semester, hindi kasya dyan. So let us just summarize. But unfortunately, when the decision was released, the president who filed it was no longer the president. Iba na ang presidente noong 2016. Okay? So July 12, 8 years na. Kahapon. Wala pa rin progress, lalo pa tayong nilamangan ng China. Bakit? Kinukondisyon ang lahat ng Pilipino na pag in-insist natin yung karapatan natin, gigirahin tayo ng China. Wala tayong kalaban-laban. Kinondisyon tayo niyan for the past 6 years. Kaya nga, mabuti yung presidente ngayon, gusto lumaban, ano? Oh. Kaya lang, hilaw pa rin. Gusto ba talaga natin ng gera? May mga nagtatanong na ganyan. Well, kung iisipin nyo na kapag in-insist natin yung right natin, gigirahin tayo ng China, dalawang bagay. Una, anong gusto nyo? Hindi na lang natin i-insist para wag tayong girahin? Pabayaan na lang natin na kunin niya ang lahat ng gusto niya. Diba? Number 2, sa tingin nyo, lulusob kaya ang China? At sa tingin nyo, dahil meron tayong alliances, kaya nga galit na galit ng China kapag may alliance tayo with other countries, di ba? May alliance tayo with the United States. Ano ang kanilang narrative? Ginagamit lang kayo ng Amerika. Kung di tayo magpapagamit sa Amerika, sinong gagamit sa atin? Ang China. Di ba? It's a choice between the devil and the deep blue sea. You choose your ally. And then ngayon, ang Japan, kumakampi sa atin. Ano sabi ng China? Huwag kang makialam. O bakit? Kasi pag hindi nakialam itong mga bansang ito, hindi nagkaisa, ay lalamunin kayo lahat ng China. Di ba? O baka gusto nyo maging Ukraine. Yan ang sabi ng mga sumusuporta sa narrative ng China. Baka gusto nyo maging Ukraine ng Pilipinas. May nagtanong sa akin yan eh. Sabi ko, hindi nyo naiintindihan ng geopolitics. Una, walang interest ang Amerika talaga sa Ukraine. Number 2, wala silang military treaty. Sa atin meron eh. At saka hindi papayag yung mga Western countries na sakupin ng China ang buong South China Sea kasi nga sinasabi ko sa inyo, napakaraming resources dyan at pag sinakop yan ng China, ay napakalakas na ng China, wala nang dadaan dyan ang wala niyang pahintulot. Diba? Papayag kaya ang mga Western countries. Plus, kung i-insist natin yung ating victory, China is really violating the law. Dahil hindi na yan saklaw ng kanyang exclusive economic zone. Ganun kasimple. So ano nangyari? Ito yung desisyon. Number 1, assuming daw na ang China ay may historic rights. Nung sumali siya sa UNCLOS, nalimitahan o na-extinguish. Ibig sabihin, nawala yung kanyang karapatan. Bakit? Kasi alam niyo, ang basis ng China, hindi legal rights eh. Historic rights. Yan ang pala yung sinasabi ng China. Historic rights. Pumasok ka sa UNCLOS eh. Nung naging member ka ng UNCLOS, susundin mo yung UNCLOS na hanggang 200 nautical miles ka lang. Pag lumagpas ka doon sa 200 nautical miles, hindi na sa'yo yan. Okay? And assuming na historic rights siya, sabi ng UNCLOS, ng ITLOS, no? Ng Permanent Court of Arbitration, I should say, there was no basis na ang China ay may exclusive control dyan sa area na yan na sinakop ng kanyang 9-dash line. Bakit? In the past, na hindi pa masyadong swapang ang mga tao, yan ay common fishing ground between the Philippines, China, Japan, Indonesia, Vietnamese, kahit yung Taiwanese, nangingisda dyan, at hindi naman sila nag-aaway. Okay? It's only now na naging swapang yung mga tao, particularly ang China, na nag-aaway-away na. Kasi gusto niya, kanya lang. Kaya kahit lumagpas na siya doon sa exclusive economic zone niya, iniisis niya pa rin na kanya. And then, nagtayo ng mga artificial islands, but they are in violation of UNCLOS because they are inside the Philippine Exclusive Economic Zone. And the fact remains, sabi ng Permanent Court of Arbitration panel, mga arbitrators, there is no overlapping between the Exclusive Economic Zone of China and the Philippines. So, illegal yung ginagawa ng China. And then, China violated the Philippine sovereign rights. Ito na yung sinasabi natin, sovereign rights, ano? Hindi sovereignty, kundi sovereign rights because we have the exclusive right to exploit the resources. Yung fishing and petroleum exploration natin, pinakikialaman ng China. Nag-construct siya ng mga artificial islands. At pinabayaan niya ang mga Chinese fishermen to fish in the area na nasa loob ng exclusive economic zone ng Pilipinas. So, hindi ba pag walang iya, pag alipusta sa atin yan? If you have a friend like that, who needs an enemy? And China caused severe harm to the coral reef environment. Okay? At nilabag niya yung kanyang obligasyon sa international law na pangalagaan itong mga endangered species na ito. Okay? And China is aware na yung mga Chinese fishermen are harvesting endangered sea turtles, corals, giant clams. Tapos ngayon sasabihin nila, yung Sierra Madre ay nakakasira sa kalikasan? Loco stalking. Anong method ng fishing ang ginagamit nila? Di ba? Now, on the fifth issue, ito, mas nakabuti sa atin, ano? Kasi ayaw pang himasukan ng arbitral panel. Kasi daw military ang issue na ito, kasi ito yung pagsadsad noong 1999 ng Sierra Madre dun sa sa Ayungin Shoal or Second Thomas Shoal sa international law, international lane. Okay? So ito ngayon, nanalo tayo. Ayan yung barko, nakikita nyo, no? Yan yung barko na nire-resuplayan ng ating Coast Guard at ng ating Navy na laging binubuli at hinaharas yung mga nagre-resupply. Ayan, nasa loob ng exclusive economic zone natin eh. So, anong ginagawa dyan ng China? Di ba? Kung susunod lang sana ang China sa batas, walang problema eh. Sino nag-escalate ng situation? China. Sino lumalabag sa UNCLOS? China. Ano ang basis ng China para kunin ang mga tubig na yan? Historic right. Historic right na na-debunk na ng arbitral panel. So what's the legal right of China? Nothing. Except the fact that it is bullying small countries. Diba? If China wants to be a world leader, China should show to the world that it knows how to respect international law. The point is, China is disregarding and even violating blatantly international law. Okay? So how do we enforce our victory? Ay wala tayong military might. Everybody knows that. At kinondisyon ng ating sundalo na hindi natin kaya lumaban. So what do? We show the entire world, even the Asian countries, that China is violating the law. Grabbing something that it does not own. Okay? So we have to shape opinions, no? Yung public opinion, kasi wala daw tayong military option. Okay? We can also go to United Nations Security Council, which we did not do for the past 8 years. Bakit? Yung 6 years kasi niyan, kaibigan natin ng China. Di ba? Masakit pakinggan eh. Pero yung mga speeches ni Presidente Duterte, do not take my words for that. Hanapin nyo lang mga speeches niya. Ano ba ang sinasabi palagi? Thank you China, thank you Xi Jinping. Why would you thanking China for? Di ba? Forgetting our sea? Forgetting our resources? You're thanking China simply because nagbigay siya ng ano ba tawag doon? Sinovac? Okay? Now, we can also invoke the Mutual Defense Treaty that we had since 1951. The problem is, natatakot pa rin tayo kasi nga napakarami pa rin Pilipino naniniwala na nagiging puppet tayo ng Amerika. O nasaan na yung mga sumisigaw na paalisin dati yung US military bases sa Subic? O nung umalis ang US military bases sa Subic at yung Air Force sa Clark, ano nangyari sa atin? Nilusob ng China. Di ba? Kinuha. O kung nandyan yung mga Amerikano, baka nagdalawang isip ang China. Of course, hindi rin tayo makapunta dyan nung nandyan ang mga Amerikano. But that was lesser evil because America was paying rental. And America was not claiming that this part of the Philippines is theirs. Okay? Unlike China, na kiniklaim niya, kanya yan. Okay? Now, we also have another element of the state, the government. That's the instrumentality that carries out the will of the state. You cannot fill the state without the government. Then, in the case of Estrada versus Arroyo, there was a change of government from Estrada to Arroyo. Ang de jure government is a government in accordance with the law. And then a de facto government may not be in accordance with the law, but it has the support of the people. Diba? So, alin dito ang de jure? Well, traditionally, under the Constitution, the de jure government was the government of ERAP. But since na-impeach ERAP, although sabi nga ni ERAP, hindi naman daw siya na-impeach. Sabi niya, I've never been impeached in my life. I may be in red, black, or blue, but never impeached. The problem was, according to the court, nag-resign kayo, you left Malacanang. So, Arroyo government, a de facto government, needs to be legalized. So, what legalized the Arroyo government is the decision of the Supreme Court in Estrada versus Arroyo. Okay? Nasabi, there was constructive resignation. So, Arroyo government became a de jure government. Huh? Now, what is the effect if there's a change in government? Well, the subsequent government, the substitute government for that matter, will inherit everything, including the obligations. Ano? Ayan. Okay? So, lahat yan. Mamanahin niya. Pati yung kanyang mga obligasyon. Okay? Now, what about sovereignty? It's the supreme power of the state to enforce its will upon its members. That's what we call internal sovereignty or police power. And to have freedom from foreign control. That's external sovereignty or independence. Now, how do you define sovereignty in international law? Yun na, dinefine na natin. And what is state sovereignty absolute? Sinasumusumpong yung aking allergic rhinitis. Is state sovereignty absolute? The answer is traditionally oo. But because somehow we are part of the family of nations, that limits our sovereignty. Because we have to abide by the international laws. Unlike China na ayaw sumunod. Di ba? Nagkaroon ka ng World Trade Organization para proteksyonan ng intellectual property. Hindi sumali ang China. Bakit? Napakaraming infringement ng intellectual property sa kanila eh. Di ba? Kaya nga siguro yung ating mga sundalo, kahit na ang laki-laki ng monster ship ng China, huwag matatakot. Bakit? Made in China naman yun. Okay? Another thing is by the doctrine of incorporation. Ano ba yan? That under our Constitution, Article 2, Section 2, we adopt the generally accepted principles of international law as part of the law of the land. So that limits your sovereignty. And also, under Pacta Sunt Servanda, when we enter into a treaty, our sovereignty is limited because we have to adhere to the terms and conditions of the treaty. Okay? Now, the state will continue to become a state. Even if there are changes in the population, changes in the government, changes in territory, for as long as it still has sovereignty. The moment na wala ang sovereignty nito, it will no longer be considered a state. Ano nga ba ang sovereignty? Tapos na natin. Pagka kayo abogado, magtayo kayo ng milk tea, tawagin sovereignty. Ano? Ayan. Okay? So, kaya minsan tinatanong, nung panahon na si Sherlyn Gonzalez yata, 1994 Miss Universe, sa Pilipinas yan. Ang tanong daw, di pa yata ako buhay niyan eh. Ang tanong, how many islands are there in the Philippines? So, ang sabi ni Sherlyn Gonzalez, high tide or low tide? Tama naman, ano? Pero pagka ngayon daw tinanong yan, ang sagot, before or after Duterte? Yan ang sabi, di ko naman alam kung totoo. Okay, so, we go to the Declaration of Principles and State Policies. Okay? These are non-self-executing provisions. They need legislation. That's the reason why, according to the Supreme Court, nagkaroon kahapon ng clarification ng Supreme Court kasi may mga balitang lumabas na i-define na kung ano ang political dynasty. Uutusan daw ang Kongreso. Hindi po accurate yun. Kasi meron lang petition uli for mandamus for the court to compel Congress to enact a law defining political dynasty under Article 2, Section 26 of the Constitution. Because since 1987 until now, 37 years ago, Congress has not yet defined what dynasty is, what political dynasty is. Okay? Ngayon, ando sa Section 1 ng Article 2, ano sabi? The Philippines is democratic and Republican state. Sovereignty resides in the people and all government authority emanates from them. That tells us the kind of government that we have. Democratic, Republican. And the people are sovereign. Okay? Now, you also have Article 2, Section 2. This is known as the Doctrine of Incorporation. Ano sabi dyan? We adopt the general accepted principles of international as part of the law of the land. Are we renouncing war? Of course not. We are renouncing the war of aggression. The war that we will be the one to start. Just like what Putin has done in Ukraine. At dahil kay Putin, maraming Pilipino ang natakot sa China. Bakit? Kaalyado ng China ang Russia, ang North Korea. Diba? At ayaw ng China na ang mga karapitbahay niya ng mga bansa ay makipag-alayan sa iba't ibang bansa. Pero siya mismo ay nakipag-alyado na sa Russia at North Korea. Diba? So, anong gusto ng China? Siya lang ang pwedeng gumawa ng alliances at yung mga bansa na katabi niya walang alliance? Kung maniniwala kayo sa ganyang narrative, bahala kayo. Okay? So, the Philippines has not renounced the war for self-defense. Although we renounce war as an instrument of national policy as part of the Kellogg-Briand Pact in 1928. Diba? Between France and United States, si Frank Kellogg at saka si Aristide Briand, di ko alam kung kamag-anak yan ni Kobe. Diba? 1928 yan, we're not yet a state. But it is now adopted as Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the UN that the member states must not use war, okay, or threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state. China is part of the UN. In fact, it is a member of the Security Council, a permanent member. Tapos ayaw niya sumunod. Bagay, Russia ganun din. Ano kaya sabi ng mga matatanda? Birds of the same feathers flock together. Diba? Pare-pareho sila na ugali. Yan. So tayo, gusto ba nating sumali dyan? Yung ating mga military, ayaw nila sa mga komunista. Di dapat ayaw nyo rin sa China. Komunista kaya ang China? Diba? Merong bagong desisyon ng Korte Suprema, last year, ito yung De Duro versus Vinuya. Sinasabi, red tagging is unconstitutional. Pag nire-red tag mo yung tao, bakit ba red? Communism ang red. Galit pala kayo sa komunista, di dapat galit din kayo sa China. Komunista yung China eh. Okay? Civilian authority is at all times supreme over the military. At dito pa lamang makikita ninyo that the armed forces has the goal to secure the sovereignty of the state and the integrity of the national territory. Pero maaawa ka sa ating armed forces, hindi pinapansin ang China. Di ba? Kung ibang bansa kaya ang gawin niya ng China. Naalala ko tuloy itong si Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. Ano ba ang sabi niya? Probe with a bayonet. If you strike a steel, withdraw. If you strike mud, pursue. For the past several years, China has been probing the Philippines with a bayonet. Ano ang na-strike niya? Mud. Tingnan niyo yung Indonesia. Google niyo. Do not take my word for that. Pagka may mga Chinese vessel na malapit sa Indonesian Exclusive Economic Zone, pinapalayas. At yung mga Chinese fishermen, hinuhuli at yung barko nila sinusunog. Ginera ba ng China ang Indonesia? Hindi pa naman hanggang ngayon, hindi ba? Bakit? Yung mga bully kasi, just like China, namimili din ng binubuli yan. Pag alam na hindi ka lalaban, forever kang ibubuli niyan. Di ba? Ganun din yan. Nasaan ang ating armed forces na nasisira ng integrity of the national territory? Sabi ng mga pilosopo, di ikaw ang pumunta doon. Ba't ako pupunta? Hindi naman ako sundalo. Kaya ka nagsundalo, gusto mong ipagtanggol ang ating bayan. Para kaya ano pa't sundalo ka na hindi mo kaya ipagtanggol ang bayan? Hindi natin inaaway ang armed forces. Kaya lang, ang problema kasi may chain of command. For the past several years, yung chief, di ba, yung commander-in-chief, ayaw lumaban. Kung ikaw yung sundalo, lalabang ka pa ba? Yung commander-in-chief mo nga ayaw Okay? Pwede ba na yung Marines ay sumama sa pulis para magpatrol ng streets of Metro Manila or other places for that matter? You have that case of IBP versus Zamora. Di ba? It does not violate civilian supremacy if the policemen are accompanied or joined by the contingents of Philippine Marines in patrolling the streets of Metro Manila, because that constitutes the calling out power of the President to call out the armed forces to suppress lawless violence. Okay? Now, the prime duty of the state is to protect and serve the people. Kaya nga, the state may also call upon the people and the state, and the fulfillment thereof, under conditions provided by law, render personal, military, or civil service. So dahil dyan, nagkaroon tayo ng National Service Training Program. Ano yun? NSTP. But remember, ROTC is just one of the options. Can we make ROTC mandatory again? Yes, but you need to amend Republic Act 9163. Because under that law, ROTC is just an option. It's not mandatory. Ito instill discipline daw. Alam nyo, hindi ako naniniwala na para lang madisiplina mag-ROTC. That's one way of disciplining people. But that's not the only way. Diba? Kaya nga, nawalang ROTC na yan because of graft and corruption. Tingnan nyo yung kasaysayan. Bakit inabolish yung mandatory ROTC during our time? Kasi, napakaraming corruption. Nagpapabayad, tumatanggap ng bayad, hindi naman umaattend. Diba? Personal knowledge na may makilala ko na nagbayad. Hindi umattend ng ROTC. Okay? Kaya, ginawa siyang option na lamang. Tapos ibabalik na naman natin. Good luck. Okay? And then, the state has the policy to protect the life of the mother and the life of the unborn from conception. That's why abortion is not allowed. We have Republic Act 10354, also known as the RH Law, Reproductive Health Law. The constitutionality of which was challenged before the Supreme Court in Imbong versus Ochoa, but the Supreme Court said it is constitutional, except the provision which required medical practitioners to give free consultation at least 60 hours per year on RH law or reproductive health. Ang problema kasi dito, if you do not believe in reproductive health because of religion, and then you'll be penalized for not giving consultation on RH or reproductive health, you'll be penalized. So sabi ni Supreme Court, you are penalizing people for their belief. Remember, the right to believe is absolute. Okay? And the right to believe includes the right to act on your belief. Kaya unconstitutional yon. But the rest, constitutional. Okay? Then the issue of academic freedom. Article 14, Section 5, Paragraph 2 of the 1987 Constitution, academic freedom shall be enjoyed by all institutions of higher learning. Take note, institutions of higher learning. So, what are the aspects of academic freedom? The institutional academic freedom, the academic freedom of faculty and staff, and the academic freedom of the students. And these are all discussed and provided for by Batas Pambansa Bilang 232 or the Education Act of 1982. Okay? Now, the academic freedom of the schools constitute the right to determine who may teach. Kaya nga, ang eskwelahan lang ang makapagsasabi, sinong tatanggapin ko para magturo? That's why I was told na hindi ka dapat nag-a-apply na magturo sa law school. Okay? Bakit? I remember Dean Riano, si Dean Willard, yun yung aming professor sa remedial law at naging boss ko sa San Sebastian when I was the associate dean. Buhay pa siya. Sabi niya, you do not apply in law school. Ako, sir, bakit? Sabi niya, what do you call a lawyer offering his services to the client? Sabi ko, ambulance chasing, oh. So, exactly. When you offer your services to teach, that's ambulance chasing. So, you get invited. So, how do I get invited? Dapat marami kang kaibigang deans. Ano? Ayan. Siguro ko na-invite. Kaibigan natin si Dean Leslie. Okay. Ayan. O kaya, you establish a name in a particular subject matter. Diba? So that people would learn from you. Okay? What may be taught? O ito yan, i-offer mo. The government cannot interfere with that. But there are standards that you have to follow. Like sa who may teach in college, natural, dapat yung merong master's degree. But when in law school, na-require na magkaroon ng Master of Laws, sabi ng Korte Suprema, unconstitutional yan. Okay? How it shall be taught and who may be admitted to study. Now, Lib Memorandum Order 7-2016 required all aspiring law students to take and pass the PhilSat. That was challenged before the Supreme Court by Judge Pimentel na namayapa na noong nakaraang panahon. And ito po, ang sabi ng Korte Suprema, violative of the academic freedom on who will be admitted to study. Kasi pag hindi ka na pumasa doon sa PhilSat, hindi ka na makakapasok sa law school. And that's a violation of the academic freedom of the school to determine who will be allowed to study. Okay? And then, ito na, yung nire-require ang mga law schools to admit only lawyers who have master's degree in law, LLM. Ayan, pagka wala kang LLM, di ka pwede mag-dean at hindi ka pwede magturo sa law school. According to the Supreme Court, again, that's unconstitutional. That's an intrusion on the academic freedom of the educational institution to determine who will be allowed to teach. That's an exclusive right of the school that cannot be interfered with by the state through the Legal Education Board. Okay?